Hello and welcome back to the Adventures of Dementia Man. I'm Heather.
And I'm Mark.
Today we're going to talk to you about discount cards, just a few of them, but some that you have access to if you have a diagnosis of dementia. This is UK based, so if you're in a different country these won't apply, but there are many similar things in operation in other countries, so it's definitely worth having a look and seeing what you can find.
Yep.
So the first thing we want to talk to you about is the CEA card. I'm going to put a picture here on the screen for you to see. The CEA card basically entitles you to take a carer free to the cinema. So we've used this a few times, haven't we?
We have,
Mark?
yes, and I've done it with my daughter as well.
Yeah, and basically what happens is that you pay.
I pay, which I'm not sure about.
And then the carer goes free, and it's obviously intended to enable you to support somebody, that's hard to say, to go to the cinema. Yeah, so we've done a couple of films. We went on a very grim day just after Christmas.
And that was when we watched the football, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a film called Next Girl Wins.
The Next Girl Wins, yeah, that's right. And it's it was a team that had never scored a goal in it. What would it be? What country was it?
It was American Samoa.
Yes, the one.
Yeah, it was the story of their football team and how they went from the bottom of the league to... Well, I'm not sure whether they went up in the league.
They didn't go up in
scored
the league.
A goal.
They scored a goal, and that was a brilliant film, I thought. Very nice. So we had a good time with that one.
Yeah, and then we went last week or the week before?
Last week, yes.
And we went to see a film called One Life.
Yes. Not so joyful.
Yeah, it's the story, you've probably heard of it, it's the story of Nicholas Winton, who was instrumental in arranging the kinder transport to bring children out of Czechoslovakia at the beginning of the Second World War and give them foster homes for the duration of the war in the UK. And obviously in many cases they ended up staying in the UK. So a grim subject matter, but an excellent film.
Excellent film, yes, indeed.
And Anthony Hopkins plays Nicholas Winton. Brilliant, yeah.
He really was.
Yeah. So what did you think about the cinema in general?
The cinema in general was abysmal, to say it. If like I could use other words, but
not on the
no, not on the indeed not. It's we went to we got to the auditorium. It was pitch dark, and we were there were only about maybe 20 people, if that. But the lights never came up at all. So when we left the auditorium, it was still pitch dark, and it was ridiculous because the other people, dare I say, were older than me, which is amazing, and they had the same problem, and I was not happy. And when I'm not happy, they let people know I'm not happy. And on this occasion, I asked to see the manager, and somebody said, "Okay, I'll go get the manager." And then about 10 minutes, if not more, later, the manager came up, and I explained to him what was going on, and I said, "Look, I have dementia, and the very fact that you didn't have any lights at all wasn't very good." And he was apologetic and things like that, but I just got the impression that they just didn't care.
Made a lot of excuses, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
Being on holiday and what that had to do with the lights not working.
Yeah,
it wasn't anybody's guess. It wasn't terribly.
No, good. and then after that, I then had to work out the escalator, which again was an event basically. Partly because obviously with my dementia, other people have different types of dementia, of course. Was that trying to get onto the, what's it called, the conveyor belt is very weird. And I put my one foot on, and then I couldn't seem to put the other foot on. And so I then waited for Heather to come and really rescue me.
By that time, I'd already stepped onto the escalator, so I was already on my way down, and there was nothing I could do other than the cartoon like run back up again.
It was
so
quite
I all
funny.
went down and came back up because you couldn't find the lift. Could you? We made it in the end, but I think what was interesting was it certainly seemed to us that there are cinemas and probably cinema chains that because they give you a free carer's place, then they think, okay, the carer will look after the person with whatever disability. But really, that shouldn't absolve you of all responsibility to make your venue accessible.
Yeah, so
that was interesting.
Yes,
good film, though.
Film was great, but they could do better.
So the CEA card, you apply online. It costs £6, I think, for a year. But if you do go to the cinema, it's obviously well worth it.
Yeah, it is.
And it's meant that we've gone probably more frequently than
we would do.
Done
yes,
otherwise.
Yeah.
And then the other card is something that's very similar, and this is called a Hynt card. Again, I think I'll put the picture on the screen rather than trying to focus the camera on it. Hynt, H-Y-N-T. I don't know whether that's Hynt or Hunt because it's a Welsh thing, so I'm not sure whether it's pronounced the English or the Welsh way. This is a free card, and it's similar to the cinema card. It basically gives you a free or discounted carer's place, and in some cases discounts on tickets for the both of you at a whole lot of arts venues. This is Wales only. It's run by the Arts Council of Wales and sponsored by the Welsh Government. But there is something similar in the works from the Arts Council in England. As far as I can tell online, that doesn't actually exist in operation yet, but worth keeping a lookout for that. As I say, this one's free. Again, you can get discounted places in arts venues. We went to see the flamenco with it.
We did, and that was fantastic. I mean, I'm just gushing about that.
Yeah, it was the Daniel Martinez Flamenco Company, and went just before Christmas last year. That was brilliant. And we have got a few things coming up in the new year to go and visit. And I mean, theatre and arts tickets, they can add up, can't they? So that's great. It's enabled us to get out and do some things.
It has indeed, yes. And of course we've got Slimbridge as well. Yes,
well that comes on to two things called National Disability Card and the National Carers Card. Now these are cards that basically you can show when you go into other places, and you'll not often get a discount either for carers or for the both of you. The National Disability Card obviously for Mark, the National Carers Card for myself. The disability card cost £18 for 2 years, and the carers card is the same, but if you've already got the disability card, you get it slightly cheaper. And as Mark said, we used this to go to the Wetlands Trust at Slimbridge back in November, and actually it paid for itself just with the entrance. But that was a good day.
Oh, it's fantastic, Seeing lots of different creatures.
It was really interesting. So again, it's a day out that I don't think we'd have managed to pay 2 full price fees to go to, but we were able to go to and just get out and about a bit using these cards. Words of caution that if you Google this kind of thing, there are a lot of places offering you discount cards for this amount of money or that amount of money. Be cautious. They're not all legitimate, or at least they're not all exactly what they say they are. So just be a bit careful. Use a bit of common sense. But yes, have a look and see what's available in your country, in your area, and you might find some things that enable you to get outside a bit more frequently and go and do some stuff and see some interesting things. That's all we've got for today, isn't it?
It is, but I hope you have a nice time if you go out.
Yeah. Get out and do stuff if you can. It really helps.
Yeah, it does. It's important.
All right, so we'll be back next time we can think of something else to
Yes.
say.
Yes. So here we are.
Bye for now.
Bye bye.